Sportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance, and now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad read. If you can get it, you can save it at Progressive.com. What's wrong? What'd I do?
Just a good old-fashioned ad read?
That's what it says. They want us to do it this way. We love the people at Progressive. The whole bit.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah.
The whole bit with the Progressive thing is that everyone tries to be overly creative. And they're just like, hey, we have the best insurance. Go to Progressive.com and get the insurance.
But
like,
they also have some of the best ads.
They do.
They
No
really
question. But that's the whole bit here on this. Now, Smalls was laughing at herself, as she always does, and not at herself like in a self-deprecating way. With like you hear yourself, and you're talking about the food thing there.
Yeah.
Tater tots. And you, like, find yourself very funny.
Well, I was thinking...
Very interesting. I've never met somebody like that.
Well, I am hilarious, obviously. But I was thinking when we were listening to that rejoin about Mean Girls, when Gretchen Wieners was like, my father, the inventor of toaster strudels, will not be pleased to hear about this. I was thinking of, imagine you get in trouble at school, you roll into the principal's office, you're like, my father, the inventor of tater tots, would not be pleased about this. We're going to pull the tater tots from the lunch special if I get in trouble. The power you would wield.
What gives you, I'm just sitting there thinking, what gives you the most clout if your parents actually invented it?
I mean, tater tots is up there for a
Tater
good.
tots is elite.
Maybe some sort of video game or something now.
Yes.
Maybe the actual school. Like, imagine if LeBron's kids went to the school.
PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Forget
Right?
that.
Forget it.
Forget that. But imagine, like, LeBron's kids don't live in Ohio. They live with him in L.A., obviously. Yeah. But his school that he created is in Akron. Could they, if they went to school there, you can't get in trouble. Like, if you opened a school in the Bronx as we're trying to get you into the Bronx Hall of Fame.
That's got to happen, brother.
Right. But if it was the Chris Canty Elementary School, and God willing, one day you have a kid, and that kid goes to that school, what exactly?
My name's on the building, principal.
Like, I mean, your kid can do anything.
The principal will set an example, though. Yeah. We're going to set an example with you.
That's true. It could go the other way.
It could go the other way.
It could absolutely go the other way.
Oh, my goodness.
Speaking of second generation, Stephen Jones yesterday spoke at the owners' meetings at the Breakers in Palm Beach. And
my dad owns the Cowboys.
That's what he said, right?
Pretty good clout in Dallas. You think he had any problems in school?
Pretty good clout in Dallas. He got clout anywhere.
That's true.
That is an international brand. It's the most valuable sports franchise on the face of the planet.
Very good point. He could go to school anywhere and have clout.
He's done some weird things this offseason with the quote-unquote drought thing. I would say more times than not, Stephen Jones does handle himself pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, better than his dad, right? In terms of, like, some of the comments.
Well, he's not as inflammatory.
Right. So here's what he said yesterday, though. Quote, we're not done yet. This is in terms of free agency. We're not done yet. We still got some things that are out there and outstanding that we're trying to get done. Missed a few guys along the way, too, in terms of the number just being a lot higher than we thought it would be on a couple of guys. Overall, we're real pleased with what we were able to do with our roster and help the team. So he's open to potentially adding more players, potentially by way of trade. He said, quote, we've got several things we're looking at from a trade standpoint, but certainly not to the point where we have a deal yet. Okay, are you buying what Stephen Jones is selling about America's team?
No. Why would we buy anything that the Cowboys are talking about in the way of player acquisition? They're always late to the party. Our mantra for the Dallas Cowboys is a day late and a dollar more. So why would we think that Cowboys are going to make a material move at this point in the offseason that is going to drastically change how we view them going into the 2025 season? I just don't think it's going to happen. And then beyond that, this is not a team that has a ton of cap flexibility. Like, I know everybody's pointing to the cap space overall and say, oh, the Dallas Cowboys have cap. The Dallas Cowboys have cap. Well, if you really peel back the layers, they've got things that they've got to do with that cap space, right? They've got $35 million in cap space right now. But they still got to focus on a Micah Parsons extension. If you want to make the argument the extension takes down the cap number from $24 million, okay, cool. But what has been the Cowboys' biggest issue? They wait too long to sign their own players. Well, you still got to work out a long-term contract extension for Deron Bland ahead of his walk year in 2026. You got to take care of Pro Bowl offensive lineman Tyler Smith ahead of his walk year in 2026. You also probably need to take care of tight end Jake Ferguson ahead of his walk year in 2026. Now, They did get started in terms of being able to keep core guys around because they did sign all-pro returner Kevontae Turbin to an extension a few weeks ago. But they still got more work to do with their own. Why would I think they're going to be aggressive in trading for and paying a marquee talent that is going to dramatically impact the Cowboys' 2025 season?
If they were going to do that, wouldn't they have done this earlier in free agency? Wouldn't they have taken a big swing then?
Well, it seems like they would. Now, there is another artificial deadline, which is the NFL draft, and we see a lot of player movement around that time as well. But again, when it comes to the players that are potentially going to be moved, the only reason that they're going to be moved at that point or that juncture is because that player is angling for more money, and the team that they're with doesn't want to give it to them. So if they are looking for a contract extension when they get traded to the Dallas Cowboys, how does Dallas, Stephen Jones, and Jerry Jones fit that in to what else they have to do from a financial standpoint this offseason? I just don't know I don't know if that's feasible.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't anticipate that we're going to see a move made by the Dallas Cowboys between now and the start of the season, bringing someone in from an external standpoint that's going to create some sort of seismic shift in the way that we view the construction of the Cowboys and their ability to compete for a championship. They've made some smaller moves, some depth moves. Micah obviously is still outstanding, but just like last year when they said they were all in and they weren't all in, when the Dallas Cowboys speak and say we have things that are outstanding and we still have some swings that we want to take, until I see them do it, I'm not going to believe what they say.
Do you think if we got Stephen and Jerry Jones in a room, no cameras, no microphones, nothing, do you guys think you have a good team this year, like good enough to make a run in the playoffs to the Super Bowl? Would they ever say yes to that?
Truth serum?
Yeah. Do they look at this and say, yeah, we got a Super Bowl caliber team? Could they ever actually do that with this group?
No.
I think they have a great quarterback, but I don't think they have a great team around him, and I don't know if he's great enough to take them to a Super Bowl right now.
I'm just sitting here trying to think of what moves the Dallas Cowboys could make that would make me look at them differently. I know the San Francisco 49ers has been trying to trade Brandon Ayuk this offseason.
Shefty reported the big number comes tomorrow where they have to pay him a big bonus.
Is that a post-June 1 move to make it more palatable for San Francisco in trading him? I think if they traded him post-June 1, they would actually save a few million on the cap this year. But, I mean, again, does that change how we view the Dallas Cowboys? Does that change what we think they are? Does that make them any better than the third-place team in the NFC East? Because I don't think it does.
I don't think they could do anything to get our beliefs closer to Super Bowl. I do think they can get us to think something closer to long-term rebuild in a positive way. If they were to ever not give the money to Micah and do what you've suggested, which is trade him, I think you'd look at them and say, all right, maybe they are taking this seriously about they're not that good now, but could be that good in the future. I don't think they can change your mind as in closer to the top. I think the only way they change their mind, your mind, anyone's mind, is actually if they get closer to the bottom to long-term get closer to the top. I don't think they're going to do that either, though. I think they're probably going to give Micah
So you're
Parsons
saying when it comes to the trade stuff,
out, not in.
They would be sellers, not buyers.
In order to change your mind? Yeah. Who are they buying that could change your mind?
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Even if they go out there and they do make some acquisition that we all applaud, aren't we still going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys historically over the past however many decades acquiring really good talent, but the culture within the building being the issue? We have questions about Brian Schottenheimer. Is Jerry Jones going to change the way that he operates the team? Probably not.
No, you know he's not because that's why they hired Brian Schottenheimer.
But my point is, they could go out there and make a big move that surprises us. But in actuality, are we really going to change the way that we view the Dallas Cowboys and their chances of actually competing for a Super Bowl?
Unsportsmanlike is brought to you by Grainger. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers access to over 1 million products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by today. Coming up, is the SEC no longer a football conference? We'll get to that next. We're on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là rượu vang. Bây giờ hôm nay bọn mình sẽ có tiêu đề là rượu ổi. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nha.